If anybody would have told me before this past con we had this weekend, if you would have said, Laura, Dark Horse is going to be the MVP and deliver the only shoujo, I'd be like, no, there ain't no way. But that's where we are right now. Hello friends, happy Monday. What a con it was. I truly hope that you had a win. And yeah, we only have one Shoujo license, which was really surreal. I mean, yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer, but honestly, the previous cons we've had have been, especially for Kodansha, I feel were really big. So little bummed, but not like overly disappointed because my wallet is pretty relieved. Maybe that sounds really bad because, you know, I love celebrating Shoujo wins, but it just honestly felt like a very interesting weekend. But before we dive into some of the licenses that I found interesting and just wanted to share with you, we definitely have to talk about how there was a new Magical Girl Dandelion chapter 15.1. Wow, what a chapter. I read this and I felt the only word I can think of is sober. Just, I sat at my computer and really didn't know what to think because it went a different direction than I was expecting. Our magical girl continues to prove that she is absolutely amazing, that she, how do I put this? I feel like when people would say it's very black and white, if that's the case, I feel like our magical girl is going to the white side, so to speak, where she is giving second chances, showing second chances to people that I feel like I never would have ever guessed that we would see what we saw in this chapter. Have your tissues ready. It was a very good chapter. Next up is the one shoujo manga that we got from Dark Horse, and I'm really excited. This wasn't something on my personal license wish list, but I've seen so many people talk about this that I'm like, okay, I too want to get up on this hype and I too want to get it and read it. And that is The Credits Roll Into the Sea. I love the cover that they have, and if you were like me and you hadn't heard about it before, I knew it was about a older woman who she's 65, she's lost her husband. She visits a cinema for the first time in years, and that's when I guess it opens up these doors, or at least it gets her thinking of, hey, I would like to make my own movie and film one. Originally was just so in shock when I saw the news because somebody had leaked it in advance. There was a listing on Amazon, and it was just like, this is real because it's on Amazon. But at the same time, like, I really didn't expect Dark Horse to get a series like this. So I was really excited to see a lot of people say, hey, I got a check mark on my bingo board, like mini congrats. I feel like it's a very interesting sounding premise and I'll definitely be looking forward to it. I already put it on my pre-order list so I can make sure that I can budget for it. It comes out in March. I think it's like March 6th or March 3rd, but I know it's the beginning of March. Hopefully there'll be no delays. I've never ordered from Dark Horse before, and I've seen some people say that they do not have the best publishing schedule unless it's for Berserk. So I'm a little nervous there, but I think there's only like 2 or 3 volumes out of this series. I feel like we should be hopefully okay. But yeah, I hope it was a win for you. Hopefully you're really interested in this. There was 2 other shoujose like series in the sense of one of them was a manhwa and then the other was a light novel, which is by the same creator of My Happy Marriage. But rewinding, talking about the manhwa that came from 7 Seas, it's called How to Survive as a Maid in a Horror Game. I confess, I did go try it because I love manhwa, especially when they're getting published. But I was like, when I found that the player's getting like reincarnated into a horror game, I was like, I really don't know. Y'all know I can't handle the horror. Like, I just can't. If it's really even intense mystery, I cannot handle that. But I was like, I'm gonna give it a fair shot. It was too dark for me personally. I really feel like just from the few pages in the beginning, it really captures how deadly and dangerous the game is that the person, like the female lead, is getting reincarnated, transferred into, or however you want to say that, because I'm not really sure how she gets there because I couldn't finish all of chapter 1. I tried, but like when she goes to, because the chapter starts and we're seeing the female lead play it as, I guess, the maid in the game, it was really eerie. And so the maid, I guess, ends up dying from whatever had happened, and the female lead's like, oh my gosh, this is so intense, but she's like, oh, I'm just gonna play again, and that's when you start getting some of this lore about the game, and it just felt really, really dark. There was a lot of blood in the background, even if there was no humans. I was like, oh, like this is not quite for me, but I'm so excited. I actually know a friend that got a personal win from this, and I was really hyped for them, and just I've actually seen several people online say that they were really anticipating it. Just the premise sounds really fascinating because I feel like I've only really read manhwa where the person's getting reincarnated to the villainess of an otome game, not necessarily a horror game. So I hope if you check it out, I hope that you do enjoy it. Again, it seemed like a win for several people, and I was like, I have to feature it just because it's manhwa alone, and it just sounds interesting. Speaking of interesting though, Seven Seas published Girl Meets Rock. Now I know this is a series that we've had digitally available. I think it's on the not Shonen Jump, no, Manga Plus. And I've seen it. I think it's won awards, or at least it's been like the top 10 in awards. So I honestly don't know much about it. I think of it like as an alternate version of Bocchi the Rock, but it's like the other prestigious rock series that's out. I did try a little bit of it on the Manga Plus app. It seems it's about a girl that I guess just gets hooked on rock music. She goes out and buys her guitar, and then I guess after that, when she goes to high school, she joins a music club and gets even more hooked on rock music and playing her guitar. I don't think I'm going to personally pick it up, but I am just really excited for everybody who's wanted this manga physically. I honestly feel like it's one of those manga that I just thought would have already been picked up already because just of how popular it seems to be. So thankfully and hopefully now that popularity can continue to thrive, but in physical format. Going on to Yen Press though, I thought very interesting that, again, that they licensed a light novel by the same creator as My Happy Marriage. I'm honestly sort of shocked it's taken that long with the popularity of My Happy Marriage. I don't know, I just felt really mind blown. I was like, wow, I don't even think I realized that they had other light novels. So just knowing that we're finally getting one after all this time feels like a big win, especially I haven't read the light novels. Now I've read the manga of My Happy Marriage and I have a review on this channel, but I don't know how well it's written. I've heard it's darker than the manga, so that's the only reason I never did try it, because I actually had people warn me not to try it because they felt it would personally be too intense for me. So I said, okay, not that because it was bad though, just as an FYI. But the one that was licensed is The Bubble Love of the Mermaid. This cover is absolutely stunning. I didn't even really read what it was about because I just was like, this is something that I feel like I would genuinely pick up just because the cover is so incredibly gorgeous. But I guess it's about a young woman who's been marked and people treat her like a monster. She's treated really horribly, and then I guess she ends up going to some kind of academy for young women, and when she's there she gets a proposal, a marriage proposal. Not really sure who. I know my friend that's been there and shared some of her notes, they did that there mentioned that there was a hot teacher, so I don't know if it's a teacher-student romance. I have honestly no idea. I haven't looked in depth about this or anything, but I am just really curious of how the romance comes into play. Hopefully she is treated really well. And again, the cover is just absolutely beautiful and very much love it. But if we're talking about surprises again that were interesting, didn't expect, I don't think anybody, I mean, this is almost as like out there as Dark Horse getting the only shoujo win from this weekend, okay? Like this is how like extreme, unexpected, nobody saw coming. And that is that Yen Press licensed the light novel for Frieren Beyond Journey's End, The Prelude. Yes, I feel like I had to double take this because we all know Viz Media publishes the manga Frieren. It was like, wait, Yen Press got the light novel and not Viz Media? And honestly, I think it was incredibly smart marketing to do this light novel last, because everybody was talking about like, man, did you hear Yen Press got Frieren, the light novel? So shout out to the person who decided to do that, because I don't know if it was like the biggest win of the night or anything, but it was just something I personally did not expect. And again, I don't think anybody else did, because that would have been something Viz Media picked up. And honestly, I feel like maybe that's gonna open more doors, because of a shonen series that's been associated with Viz Media is getting picked up by other publishers. Surely that is gonna open something. Now, you know, Haikyuu is like the only other shonen light novel I really, really want picked up. I don't see Yin picking that up, honestly. Frieren I could, because it does have those fantasy vibes, but man, that'd be absolutely surreal. Super cool if they did. But the last set of announcements were from Kodansha. They had only 3 this time around, but one of them seems to be a humongous deal. And that is Beck, the Omnibus. Now, I don't know anything about Beck. I know it's available digitally. Apparently, it was even available physically at one point. I'm like, I had no idea. Again, I don't even know what this manga is about, except for it's a rock manga. And I said, oh, okay, because when I was reading the blurb, it says, experience the beloved story of a boy who dreams of stardom, a band that won't stay down, and the music world's strangest looking dog. I think that's what sort of cued people in that Kodansha was going to be licensing Beck, because on the advertisement that they had, it was a picture of a dog. And people were like, that's Beck. That's Beck. And I mean, honestly, how the dog looked, I mean, if you had read Beck, there's no way you wouldn't have known what this was. So congrats to everybody who got a big license win for this. This was another manga I saw a lot of people crossing off on their bingo boards. So that is really exciting. I feel like, obviously, I'm just picking up mainly shoujo from Kodansha, but I do feel like there have been a lot of big wins from Kodansha of this year. I don't know how many licenses they'll have near the end of this year, but I truly hope that it continues. It was honestly super surreal, but there was one other manga license that they had that I thought was really interesting. I don't know if I'm going to personally pick it up, but it is something I would like to keep on my radar, and that's Luca the Dragon Vet. I just love this concept that people in this world can fly like on the backs of dragons, like they personally can't fly, that they fly with their dragons, and that these dragons seem to be a crucial part of this society. And the main character here, they know what they want to be in life. They want to be a dragon vet and take care of dragons. It has a rated 8+, so I feel like it's more geared towards children. Since it's not a cat manga, I don't see my daughter being overly interested in this, which sounds really bad, but I feel like I personally would be. If my library decided to pick it up, I know I would definitely give it a shot, and maybe if it goes like on NetGalley for a digital review, yeah, I would also like to, because I'm just curious of how this is going to unfold and what kind of society and world this manga looks like. Now, there is one other manhwa that I'm really excited about. In fact, this is a new publisher. They're called Crossed Hearts, and I had heard of them over on Instagram. They actually had contacted me, and I had seen their digital catalog. Guys, they have some great things that are coming. I'm not going to talk about that though, but they went on Twitter now. Like, I saw their account and I said, oh, I'm going to follow them, and they have officially announced that they are publishing Baroness Goes on Strike physically. I am really, really excited. I read some of the beginning and I was having some major deja vu because I feel like I've read this before, or at least tried it, but I have absolutely no idea when, but I did like and enjoy what I read. It's about our female lead who is sort of basically on, or not sort of, she is on her deathbed, and she's recounting things sort of that have happened in her life, and how her husband, who is a mercenary, honestly just has not been there. And so when she ends up passing away, something happens, and she's like way back in time, because in the beginning we see her with her children, and then when she comes back, her children have not been born yet. And so now she, I think it's actually the night or the day after her first day of marriage. So in this timeline, or this life, she is telling herself she is not going to work herself to her grave, kind of thing. That she is going to be selfish this time around and do what she wants to do, and also try and get away from her husband. You guys know what's going to happen. That is definitely going to change things in this timeline. Her husband's not going to act the same. Granted, I didn't read that far ahead. I think I read the first 2 chapters and I really liked it. So knowing this is coming in print this November, I'm really, really, really hoping I can get it. I would love to read more of this physically. And honestly, not just because of that, but if you look to see what exclusives they had, they're doing a limited photo card. Early readers get a surprise gift, and it looks like it's a pop-up card of sorts. There's also going to be a character vault with character spotlights, and then even journal pages for you to, I guess, take notes down. But I am really excited to see these goodies, to see that it's getting physically printed. Like, it looks fantastic. I can't wait. I can't wait. So hopefully things go smoothly. Again, it's supposed to be coming out in November. I have not seen a link available anywhere on any English book retailers. My friend did find on a UK website, so hopefully it's just a matter of time before it's up for pre-order, because I believe like the early reader surprise gift, that's something you have to pre-order early. I'm assuming also that you'll have to show like some kind of proof that you have actually pre-ordered the manhwa in order to get your goodies, but it feels 100% worth it. And last but not least, while this is nothing new, no new licenses from the con or anything, but Glacier Bay, they're continuing to do their Kickstarter. Be sure to check it out. Be sure to back it if you haven't already, especially if you're interested. This does include the book that we've talked about in the past of True Blue Never Fades. Right now they're sitting at $46,000 with a goal of $60,000. There's 18 days to go as of filming this video. So, you know, we still got time, and I truly, truly hope that they make it because I'm really excited to read that manga, especially since a lot of people have asked me to do sort of like some top 5 Wednesday videos, I guess you'd say like decades for manga from like 70s, 80s, 90s to, you know, the 2000s. I honestly don't know that many. I feel like if this goes through and everything goes great for this Kickstarter, I feel like this would be the oldest manga that I've ever read, like shoujo out of any demographic, just period, across the board. So I'm even more excited and hopeful for it. And again, hopefully truly everything just goes well and the Kickstarter is fully backed. Now, this is not a new license that was announced at Anime NYC, but I saw it because I actually know the letter for it, and I was like, oh my goodness, a new villainous series. I'm seated, I'm here, I'm curious. And that is The Fight and Flight of the Sickly Villainess. Now, I still have not had a chance to read chapter 1. Chapter 1 is for free on Bookwalker. I did see it was also on Amazon. I'm unsure if it's on Barnes & Noble, but I'm curious because it says she was a villainess, but she was just hiding that she was sick. A chase and catch love comedy of a villainous and overprotective fiance. That's all I needed to know. The letter said that she has been enjoying it. I'm curious of this angle because I have not read a villainous manga with a sickly heroine, so I'm even more intrigued. Even though nobody has nominated it, I might just slide it in for the voting for my villainous event, which will be coming up, I think, near the end of next month. The voting will start because I'm going to be kicking off the event in October, and I'm so very excited, so very excited. So yeah, if you're a villainous fan like myself and you need a new villainous manga to try, this sounds like a really interesting one to check out. This news, I saw this and I was like, we are going to talk about it today. So I did talk about my wrap up of how I read In Another World, My Sister Stole My Name. But that manga, it was announced by the creator and the artist that after so long, it is continuing serialization. I said, yes. As I shared in that video, even in my Goodreads review, I went on a hunt. I read volume 3 and then I went and checked Amazon Japan, Baka Updates, any Bookwalker, any website, even the website that has the individual chapters that you can read. Went on there, like I went anywhere and everywhere, and it was really hard because I saw that there was a volume 4, but I saw that the serialization had not been active for at least a year, and where volume 3 ended, I didn't know what was going to be happening next. So getting this news was wonderful, and it is going to be a 2-part. So if you are reading or able to read as chapters come out, then it'll be a part 1 and part 2. But I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited that we're finally getting it. I know, not in English just yet, but just knowing that it is getting continued and that we'll get more volumes in English is just enough to make me so happy, so excited, and I had to share it with you. And not only was that some really exciting news, but Veil volumes 1 and 2, we basically know they were out of stock, not out of print, and that was a very hot mess because even though I pre-ordered my copy back in November of last year, my pre-order was canceled. And so thankfully some friends helped me out and I was able to get volumes 1 and 2 because I ended up just canceling my volume 2 because I had no faith or confidence that I would actually get it delivered from Books A Million. Still very salty about that because I'm like, how, with me pre-ordering it so early, why did I never get my copy? But anyway, but Mary Manga had made an announcement earlier this week that they said, hey, we're supposed to be getting volumes 1 and 2 of Veil, and then they had a separate tweet showing them actually boxing up and getting prepared to deliver and ship Veil volumes. I was so excited. I mean, again, I already have my copies, but just knowing, I know there's other people out there like me who pre-ordered it and then just did not get it. And it's just, again, it just feels so unfair for people who pre-ordered it. Like, I hope for volume 3, whenever it releases, and volume 4, I truly, truly hope that there will not be this problem again. But again, knowing that it's coming, thank you, Mary Manga, for showing that it is officially coming. So hopefully if you're waiting for your copy to ship, that it will be shipping here very, very soon. I only have one cover reveal that I was going to share today, but I did want to mention 2 other things that are sort of like on a sadder note, so I'm glad the cover reveal is going to be last. But Tear Moon Empire, I have a video review of the manga. It's one of my second chance manga, actually, that I gave a second chance and loved it a whole lot more the second time than I did the first. I found out that the first part, just the first part of the manga, is going to be ending. I think it was on volume 10. I was so sad, but I guess the creator did affirm on on Twitter because I saw this through Anime News Network that they have said, that the creator said, that there's going to be more volumes of the manga, but I guess it's going to be sort of like a Sentence of a Bookworm where you have like, well, that series has what, 4 parts? So the first part, that manga is done, and I guess we'll go into a second part. And I'm really glad because I haven't read the light novels, but I love the manga so much. Mia is hilarious, and I can't wait to see what shenanigans are going to unfold. So I guess it's sort of bittersweet kind of news since it's ending, but it is going to be getting more volumes. But this next one, this one is just sad news. There's nothing bittersweet, it's just sad. And that's Anyway I'm Falling in Love with You is officially entering its climax at the 12th volume. I was talking to a friend on Twitter the other day about it because she had shared how she had triple dipped, and I was so excited because that was from when I shared in my video the other day, my top 5 Wednesday video of manga I've double dipped on. And so yeah, she was saying how she's triple dipped on this series, and I was like, man, I hope that I can't remember what volume number she felt that it was going to end at, but I was like, man, I can't believe it's like ending. I can't believe it's ending because I felt like it's been ongoing for so long in a good way, you know, not in a bad way. And it's also what the anime season 1 is over, but there was an announcement for season 2. But yeah, if you're a big fan of this series, I guess you should prepare your heart that it's going to be ending very soon. I don't think it said how many chapters are left, just that it's entered the climax, that it could just be ending soon. So I'm sorry for that, but I hope it has a really strong and fantastic ending. This is another series I actually need to come back to because I read volume 1 and I really enjoyed it. I think I read a little bit of volume 2. I read it on Manga. It's a very addictive story in my opinion. I don't know what it is, but it just, when you're reading, it goes by really, really fast. So I need to see if my library has it. And again, it is on Manga if you're interested there. I just rather read it physically if I could get the option. And also just, it would be cheaper that way because I don't have to use my points. My points and my tickets to read it. And last but not least, for the cover reveal, it's actually for a novel, but it's a Twisted Wonderland novel because you guys know I gotta share all the Twisted Wonderland things, and it is of Leona. This is gonna be the novel centering around Leona and the dorm of Savannah Claw. I feel like Leona looks amazing. He looks great. I really love this cover. I'm still on the fence if I'm gonna pick it up or not, but I definitely had to share it with you. I think I'll probably wait and see what some friends say because I did hear a little bit of mixed things the first novel that released, and I didn't like how it felt so different from the manga and the game, so I didn't continue it. But there have been several times that I'm just like, I need to come back to it. I need to come back to it because it's Twisted Wonderland and I love Twisted Wonderland. So yeah, that is everything I had for you, friends. I truly hope that even if there's only one shoujo manga that was announced, I truly hope you had a win. I truly hope you did. I know there's another con coming next month. October will be Viz Media's license announcements. Yeah, I sort of feel like those are the big things. So I guess next week we'll talk about some anime news that I saw and just decided to hold off on. But yeah, let me know if you got any wins this weekend. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!